plans for John Cena's final WWE match have been leaked. Plus, we have the latest on a Backlash injury scare and an update on a possible name change for Jeff Cobb. It's all in the Cultaholic Wrestling news right now. The Unseen 17 marches on after Backlash. Thank you for joining us for live reactions. Adam and Andrew had a lovely time staying up late with you. WTF moments from Backlash coming on the Patreon.
They will be up Thursday or Friday, potentially, because of other things that happen here on a weekly basis at Cultaholic Wrestling.
It's almost like it's a very busy time. You'll have also a podcast special coming out today on Backlash from the weekend.
8 o'clock on the YouTube channel.
Worth checking that one out. But John Cena leaves Backlash as undisputed champion. But according to his dad, letting things slip, we know where the Unseen 17 journey may very well end.
So this was on Boston news station WCVB, so you know for a fact it's legit. John Cena Sr. has said his final match will be in Boston's TD Garden in December.
So that is where the story is going to end for John Cena now. We don't know whether or not that will be with the title on the line. He could have very well lost the title by that point, or whether there is some magic in having it so. I don't know if they will. But I like the idea of the count, because John Cena had that countdown on, didn't he? And when he first appeared, and it was like every appearance it counts down. I kind of like the idea of him losing it at like 1,
yeah.
or like there's a pay-per-view where it's his last pay-per-view title match, and then he doesn't. He retains it. He carries on, and he turns up the next night to say goodbye, and then it's like an impromptu challenge where it's taken from him. And I think that's nice, but at the same time, a guy of the caliber of John Cena, I think needs that one final sort of moment in front of the crowd to say thank you and go out on a baby face high, if you will.
I think it's there for another match against Cody, where Cena's just gone through this redemption arc and then have a stand-up match, and he passes the torch to Cody good and proper. I know he's kind of already done that with arms being raised in the past and whatnot, but yeah, wins the title, does Cody, gets his hand raised by Cena. I think that's a nice way for him to go.
Yeah, I think that probably feels right, but that's quite a way away yet. Don't you worry about it. But before then, it looks as if we know at least who John Cena's next title opponent will be.
So at the weekend there, R-Truth got involved, and R-Truth got thwacked by John Cena, but that looks like it's going to set something up in the not too distant future, particularly at a Saturday night's main event there, Tom.
Yeah, so that AA through the table during the press conference was a moment, and Corey Hayes of Body Slam and PWN reporting that R-Truth is scheduled to face his childhood hero John Cena very soon, specifically in around the next 2 weeks, which is where, in around about the next 2 weeks, Saturday night's main event falls.
I'm picturing Gunther and Jimmy Uso.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Why not?
R-Truth bleeding his own blood, John Cena laughing at that fact.
Oh, I thought you were just booking Gunther's next match. Okay.
You know that segment on Raw where Jay's handcuffed to the ropes?
Absolutely do.
Big Jim's bleeding out. Fantastic.
I kind of thought that would be what they would have done with R-Truth in the run-up to Mania, but I'm kind of glad that they've held off on it, because we now have this lovely opportunity to have a Saturday night's main event with John Cena versus R-Truth for the title. Oh, it's like capital
punishment.
Capital punishment all over again.
2011, maybe.
R-Truth headlining a pay-per-view. Come on, let's do it once again. I do like this. I think R-Truth is absolutely one of those guys that was part of John Cena's story, either in the center of or on the periphery of. You know, the whole thing of him being his childhood hero. Like, why wouldn't you want to pay that off in this final run?
I know there'll be a faction of the fan base going, R-Truth in a title match in 2025. I can't believe it.
Yeah, they're called idiots.
The fan investment will be there. We'll all want to see that moment where R-Truth nearly gets the win. Will be a fantastic moment. But ultimately, he needs to bleed everywhere.
Yeah,
just like old Big Jim did with Gunther.
You are going to pop out of your socks when we get that 2.99 recurring off the lie detector. You are.
Gets a cigarette and puts out in Cena's eye. Come on, bring back 2011.
Let's do them all. Conan and Road Dogg can run in as well, because we're doing the TNA crossover. Why not?
Yeah.
Also at Backlash, we had a belter of a 4-way match. It was Jacob Fatu successfully retaining his US title against LA Knight, Drew McIntyre, and Damian Priest. And there was a terrifying bit where Priest gave Drew the South of Heaven through a bunch of flipping chairs.
Yeah, they forgot there was a title match on because they hate each other so much. They went through the crowd. Well, they went over the barricade first, where it looked like Drew sort of landed on his head there. It was quite horrible. Tumble over the top of the Timekeepers area barricade. Then they fight their way through the crowd. As Tom says there, they're on the elevated thing, go through the other thing, and Drew McIntyre could well be hurt.
Yeah, he could be. There was some concern afterwards because he really did bang his head off the floor. WWE COO Triple H informed the press conference afterwards that Drew was banged up but totally fine after the spot. This was also confirmed by Fightful Select, who also say that Damian Priest was quite frustrated after the match because he had a tooth knocked loose during it.
That's never nice, is it?
They went for it, didn't they?
Yeah.
They absolutely went for it in that one. Apparently, Damian Priest said, Triple H said this, that Damian Priest is going to have the tooth stay in his mouth and hopefully sort of go back in. Like, if you leave it where it is.
Really?
Yeah, I do apologise.
Go on, Tom Jones.
Where they're going to leave it, they want to leave it in because I think it'll kind of grow back into its place, hopefully.
I never knew that was a thing.
I just assumed that when your tooth got a little bit wobbly, your dad tied a little bit of string to the door and slammed it. But and then the tooth fairy turned up and gave you a £1 coin.
Imagine if that's what's going to happen. The Rock rolls it back.
Oh my God!
Is it 2004 came out, something like that? Down he comes.
What if in the middle of the ring, like, the tooth comes out and then you just, if you smell, and that's it, he's back as the tooth fairy. Why not?
Just in case you don't know, that was a film Dwayne did before his career in Hollywood really took off.
Oh, yes. Check out The Rock's early movies. They are a joy. It was during that match that we saw the debut of Jeff Cobb. He got a big pop from the crowd in St. Louis when he appeared on the screen.
Oh, it's an interesting one because Jacob Fatu, Solo Sikoa on SmackDown says to Jacob Fatu, we need another plan. I'm going to sneeze, Tom.
You can sneeze.
I'm trying to hold it in. Elephant. We need another plan, Jacob Fatu. It's going to go wrong at Backlash.
And the plan was Jeff Cobb, who flattened LA Knight, but Jeff Cobb didn't seem to be. Jeff Cobb seemed on the side of Solo Sikoa, but Jacob Fatu didn't seem too keen on the arrangement here.
Big stare down, even though Jeff Cobb got the assist basically for Jacob Fatu, got back in the ring, did the old moonsault and got the 1, 2, 3, but Jacob Fatu leaves on his own.
Yeah. Ooh. Now, Fightful report that Jeff Cobb had been in the US since Thursday at least, so any wild legs of travel he reportedly took was before that, because the last time we saw him was on the beach like Moana, looking out going, I've retired now, it calls me. And then, look, no, only joking, here I am in WWE. Now, Big E said something interesting on the Backlash panel that got people talking, because he turned around and went, this guy that we know as Jeff Cobb, I don't know if we'll still call him that. Like, are we getting a name change for Jeff Cobb?
Or it's just someone not filled Big E in with what's going on.
He might have just been hedging his bets, because quite often people do come in and get a new name. Yeah. But WWE.com very much referring to him as Jeff Cobb, which confirms to many who may be concerned that Jeff Cobb is staying Jeff Cobb. Unlike when we saw the debut of Ricky Starks, they didn't say his name.
It's him. We know who that is. It's him.
Yeah, that's the guy. That's the one. And then they revealed his actual name. I don't think they would announce him as Jeff Cobb and then go, actually, his name is Win Flagadang. Here we go.
Win Flagadang.
And his great uncle once played poker with Haku, and that's why he's in the bloodline. Like, we need a new family tree drawn immediately. On the podcast feed later today, over the weekend, we were meant to have an episode of the Classic SmackDown review, but we weren't able to get it out on the Saturday, so you're getting it today. Ooh. So the Classic SmackDown review waiting for you on the podcast feed. Myself and Matthew Gregg watching every episode of SmackDown from its very beginning to our bitter end. It's post Backlash. The Cultaholic podcast lads are together later on as well.
Yes, it's the Backlash weekend podcast. We'll have the SmackDown review and the Backlash review. It goes live at 8 p.m. BST, which is another time where you might be.
Find the time that works for you. And for the latest wrestling news at any time, you can check out cultaholic.com. Stay safe and love you. Bye.